Hey guys, it's Mr. Galaxy Star. I don't really know what to say right now. Not really doing an intro. This is just a vlog straight to the shithole that is the internet. Saw a link on my fiance's team, on my fiance's feed on Facebook, and it was about sex dolls being made in the form of children for pedophiles to prevent them from going after little children. And of course, Facebook went up in a roar about this. Now, most of the people there are a bunch of internet justice vigilantes trying to say, well, this is wrong, and da, 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 and so on and so forth, but made one simple comment. And this is where I lose faith in our country more and more and more every day. Just because of the pure idiotic nature of most people who are online. People who will probably comment on this video because of what I'm saying, and people are going to be like, well, this is an outrage, and you believe in this, and I don't care. Listen very closely to what I have to say. And I want you to actually pay attention. If you're gonna watch this video, then actually watch it and listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, and don't put words in, don't assume that I mean this, just listen. Which is something that most people these days don't even know how to do. They literally will take something that someone says, insert what they thought they heard, and then blow up on some form of social media about it, and it fucking pisses me off. Now, I do not agree with the act of pedophilia. I just don't. I know in some cultures it goes about and it's treated as a norm, but here is what I continued to say, and for whatever reason, people just were not hearing it. So maybe I actually do this. Maybe now you'll actually hear it. I do not condone what these people are doing. I do not condone the act of pedophilia. I was raped myself several times as a kid. I get the fact that our children here in America, because America breeds nothing but self-centered, lazy, uneducated people, are not ready or mature enough for sexual acts, really until we're 35. Because no one teaches children how to mature or grow up anymore. But that's a whole different topic. What I was simply stating in the Facebook comments was this. They continued going on saying that pedophiles should be shot and killed and murdered and should be burned and some really, really, really horrible shit. Now, I made this comment. Rewind to America 50, 60 years ago. Everything that these people were saying was said to the gays. It was simply put as, the gays should be burned, the gays should be shot, they should be hauled off onto some island and let a bomb be dropped on it. And if you were caught doing anything of any non-normal sexual orientation, you were marked as a sexual predator and you were put in prison. That's how it was. But then this is simply what happened. You had, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. Well, okay, just do it behind closed doors. We don't want to know. We don't want to know. It's still wrong, but we just don't want to know what's going on until we got to the point that someone said, okay, let's just let him do it. Again, not saying I'm a gay-hating, homophobic kind of person. I personally don't care what you do. If it's done behind closed doors, I just don't care, because then I don't have to deal with it. But if you come flirt with me, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to be around you, because I don't agree with it, and that's my personal right as a human being. I have the right to say I disagree with you. I have the right to say, I don't believe the way you believe. That is my right. And it doesn't mean that I'm a hateful person. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that I'm right. It doesn't mean anything besides that is my right to believe the way that I believe. And again, what I continued to state was that, okay, once you said yes to gay relationships being okay, you had several other groups start popping up. You had those who believe in bestiality. You have those that believe in pedophilia. You have those who believe in incest. And I don't know how much you guys pay attention to the news and everything that's going on, but the world is getting darker and more twisted every day. It's not just Islam's going and blowing up buses and, hitting this UK building and hitting this American building. And again, I've got nothing against any other race. I'm not a xenophobe, not any of that. But that's how most of you are probably going to take this and blow it up the comment of, oh, Galaxy Star is this huge biggity, gay-hating, xeno-hating. I just don't care. I don't care anymore, and I can't just sit here and stay quiet about this shit anymore. Once America turned and said yes to one sexual deviation from what was normal, and you included that into what is now normal, you have now made it to the point where you can't draw a line in the sand anymore. And literally you were just feeding ammunition into the gun of anyone who says, why is my kind of love any different from theirs? And here's why I say that. You can't turn and go this way because what you've said is, well, they're born that way. It's not a choice. They did not choose to be gay. They're born that way. There is something in their mind that just says, I am a man who loves another man. I am a woman who loves another woman. There's nothing that can be done about that. So you've put up a wall here. You can't turn back on what you've said because you've already legalized it and you've made it so that you can't go back and say no. And then you can't bring morals into it because morals involve God. And, oh, good grief, don't bring God into any kind of topic, because then you're just closed-minded, and no, you just can't do that. So if we don't have morals, because morals are based in God, we can't tell them that what they're choosing is wrong because it's not a choice. It's something that they were born that way, and we can't go back on what we've said. You've now boxed yourself into a situation where no matter who comes in, you must put their rights before you. And I'm talking to you, America. You have now built a world, a foundation, for no matter who it is or what they believe, it's just a matter of time. Whether it makes you uncomfortable or not, it's just a matter of time. I made the comment again about the whole 50, 60 years ago, and someone commented, well, that you can't do. You can't talk about what we did as uneducated America 50 years ago. What they were doing wasn't wrong. Okay. So what happens when we fast forward 50 years from today and pedophiles can freely roam? When rapists can freely roam? Because again, you don't matter. The person next to you does. Because that is what we are breeding in this country. That you can rape a woman and get off in 3 months. So that way it doesn't affect your life. So it doesn't screw up your track record. So it doesn't mess up your life. But she will be mentally, physically, and emotionally scarred for the rest of her life. We're in a point now of no return. There is no way to go back, and there's also no way to draw a line in the sand and say, no, what you desire is wrong, because it's either hateful, bigotry, or you can't include God. You have now made it so that way there is no way, there's no ground for you to stand firmly on and just say, well, no, you are wrong. And everyone like you is wrong. Because if you say that, you're offensive, you're white bashing, gay bashing, black bashing, Spanish bashing, brown bashing, xenophobic, homophobic, God-fearing, whatever. There is no way for any individual to say no anymore. And then that continues on to everything that's still going on in our country, especially with the feminist movement. You guys are breeding a world that my two boys that are growing up will never be able to approach a woman in any other way than this. Hi, I'm a man. I'm a fellow human being that respects you as an equal. Would you grace me with the ability to ask you for your permission to pay you a compliment that I do not expect you to take in any other way than commenting your beauty? No, I do not expect for there to be any sexual favors. I do not expect for you to return or even to notice me. I just want to say, you look pretty today. You are giving no leeway. Do I agree with catcalling and rape and everything else that goes on that horrible men do to women? No, I don't. But you are generating a world where boys have no choice. God forbid a boy tries to go and impress a girl or pay a compliment and gets nervous and says something the wrong way, but now it's considered sexual harassment. Now it's considered that he's a predator and he will be marked that way for the rest of his life because of what you're doing. There is no way for any of our children growing up to not end up fucked up more than our generation already is. You were all generating this kind of world where I am woman, hear me roar, and my place is not the kitchen, and I am just as good as a man. There are just certain things, I'm sorry, you guys just weren't meant to do. I personally, and again, this is me personally, nothing wrong with women, nothing wrong with women's rights, nothing wrong with women who want to work, nothing wrong with it. I have no problem with it. But, in my opinion, I do think that the man is supposed to be the one that takes care of the family. Again, let's rewind, just go back 50 years. Again, were there men that took advantage of the way it was? Absolutely. And I do not condone what they have done. But the few have fucked it up for the many. Women, I do not believe that your place is at that stove or at that folding board. But I do not believe that there should be women on the front line shooting at terrorists or being shot at by terrorists. I do not think that women should be right there in the same position as a man defending the homeland. I just don't. Do you make an amazing soldier? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And that's great. But there are just certain things that men and women just do differently. All you single moms out there who are raising boys, great job. But there are certain things you will never be able to teach that boy that his father should have taught him. Whether his father's not in the picture, whether his father left, whether his father died. However it happened, I'm sorry. But there are certain things you will never be able to teach them. And men, single dads, out there, if you're raising a girl, guess what? There are just certain things you will never be able to teach her like a woman can. Just can't. There are things that women can only explain. There are things that only men can explain. There are things that only women can teach. There are things that only men can teach. It's why we're different. We're not equal. Because there are things that just can't be done by the other that can be done by one. I'm not saying that either sex is better than the other, but we're not equal. Equal means that there is complete meshing, 50-50, that syncs up. But that's not it. There are things that women just can't do that men can. There are things that men can do, there are things that women can do that men just can't do. Just how it is. But again, that's a whole other topic. What I just cannot believe is that people refuse to believe what our world is coming to. Our world is on a very, very, very slippery slope that started with America saying, yep, gays, you're fine. And again, I'm not saying that things should go back to gay bashing and killing the gays and locking the gays up and, well, we'll reform you, we'll fix you. But hear what I have to say. Once you made it and said this line, they were born that way. It's not a disease. It's not a choice. It is just their hardwiring. You made it so, no matter who comes around, they will always be able to stand on that same ideology. They will be able to sit there and say, I was just born this way. I like little boys. I like little girls. I like my dog. I love my son. I love my sister. I love my mom. Because what they're going to say is, why is my love any different than theirs? And for whatever reason, Facebook people just couldn't understand that. They could not understand that I am simply stating the fact that we have created a world where we don't get to say no anymore. We just don't. We can, but as soon as you say no, you're looked down on. You share an opinion that stands up for something that is morally right. You're looked down on. And that's sad. Because America, you are losing morals left and right every day. Everything is, it's okay. It's okay to be belligerently drunk all the time. It's okay to be morbidly obese. It's okay to just you be you and I'll be me. There's no right and wrong anymore. Because it's all left up to the condition, the person, the time of day, and what they believe in. Well, if you do that, you can't tell anybody no. Because they believe that that's right. And when you have one person sit there and say, no, this is right. No, this is for me. I believe in this. I want this. I want this. And then you get them riling up. And they get more people to believe and support their cause. Then we have to change. Or that's what we're told. What I just don't want to see is for yet another way for us to slip further. For our society to become just that much darker. We live in a world now where third graders are having sex in their classroom. It's on the Huffington Post. Go read it. Teacher was fired because she wasn't paying attention to the class, which then just shows how shitty our public school system is. They were having oral sex underneath their desks. You have parents selling their children to adults to try to pay off debt that they're in. Again, another story. It's all over the news. Man had 12 girls in his house, ranging in ages from, I want to say it was 12 all the way up to 18, I'm pretty sure. And those were people's daughters. 2 of them he had purchased. We're becoming worse and worse as a nation. We're getting to the point where it doesn't matter what you believe in. If someone else believes differently than you, they're automatically right. You're in the wrong. And then God forbid it's something that shows up on social media. Because if it shows up there, God help the person who says anything against what the post says. Because the post is God. Facebook is God now. If it's on Facebook, it must be true. And if it's on Facebook and there's a lot of people agreeing with it, then I have to too. There's no such thing as individuality anymore. And there's no such thing as standing up for what's right. There's no more morals. There's no more nothing. And this is where I say, good job, America. Good job. How much further are you really willing to go to keep everybody happy? Like I said, guys, this is the point that I was trying to deliver, is that this world is getting darker and darker and darker, and we are letting it happen. Every time we just say yes, you have less and less of a right to say no. And I fear for the world that my 2 boys are going to grow up in. Realistically, I don't even know how to do a sign-off on this, but again, these are my opinions. This is how I believe. I do not condone pedophilia. I do not condone how any of the topics went during that conversation on Facebook. And I'm just disappointed in us as Americans. So, this is Mr. Galaxy Star signing off. I will see you guys in the next video.